Anyway, so we get home and I walk her to her door and I try to kiss her. And she...
I just love her just shit. I have been a little bit MIA today. Our day has been super crazy. I've been running kids around all night and we just got back from Ava's soccer game. She was so cute and Grandma and Papa Bingham got to see them play before they left on their mission, and oh my gosh, to watch 4-year-olds play soccer is something else. It's so cute. I'm definitely not a fan of this whole being apart thing. He had to go somewhere for work. He's actually in Waco, Texas, which is where Magnolia Farms is, and I'm here holding down the fort. I just wish he was here.
Okay guys, I have finished my conference and I gotta admit, I feel a little silly that I did not realize that Waco, Texas is home to Chip and Joanna Gaines. Full disclosure, I had to look that up beforehand because I don't watch that show either, but I know for a fact Lindsay knows what Magnolia Farms is. So I thought as a special treat, I would go tour the Magnolia Silos, which is what is probably the most popular tourist attraction here in Waco, Texas. Lindsay, this is for you, babe. I think you have a bakery in there. Don't know if I'm gonna buy any of the stuff because it's probably gonna be really hard to bring home. But yeah, guys, Magnolia Farms. So those that are big Chip and Joanna Gaines fans, this might be a treat for you to watch this. Babe, I am sorry, you would love this place. I mean, it's just like a little slice of heaven over here. You've got a beautiful garden, you've got soft music. I can see why this is a popular spot for some of you homemakers out there. For those that love interior design, I can definitely see why this is trendy. It's pretty cool, you guys. Babe, I wish you were here. I got myself a lemonade and a cookie. I'm gonna bust it open up here in a minute. So full disclosure, I thought this was a cookie. Looks like it's a cupcake.
I just got home and had a special delivery because today is Justin's and my 14th anniversary. And this is the very first anniversary that we have spent apart. So he sent me flowers. Honestly, they are such gorgeous flowers. That was the sweetest little surprise. I was not expecting that. And I am actually working on something, a special little surprise for him that he does not know about. And I'm really excited to show it to him when he gets home. So stay tuned for that. I've been working on it late last night and I'm gonna be working on it tonight again.
Alright guys, I cannot leave this store without getting Lindsay something. So, of course, I gotta find something that's gonna fit on my luggage. So I've settled on candles. What do you think? Do you think she's gonna like it? A fall smelling candle. Smells amazing. Sorry, Annabelle. Turin, Ashton, and Landon, you guys would love this. Look at this, stay and play. Huge open soccer field, no one's even here. Then you've got stay and play. Cornhole. Cornhole's a classic. All right guys, I am leaving Magnolia Silos. That was cool. It's not my thing, but it's clearly pretty cool. So if you're in Waco, I guess that's something you can do.
This is day 3 of our trying to eat from what we have at home challenge. Out of the fridge, out of the pantry, out of the freezer, trying to use things up and not go buy groceries or go out to eat. It is so tempting to just pick up food on the way home when we have tons of sports all night. So we came home, we have tons of eggs, we had a bunch of things of bacon, we have cheese, we had potatoes in the freezer, so we did breakfast burritos. How are they, boys?
Good.
So good.
So amazing.
So we're calling it a success. It'll get more and more interesting as my ingredients start to dwindle, but tonight this was a fun little breakfast for dinner. Do you like the burritos? Is it so yummy?
We love them. They're very good.
Egg burritos are one of these kiddos' favorite dinners. Okay, so we knew we would not be together on our actual anniversary, so we thought it might be fun ahead of time to record a little something about how we met.
Many of you have asked how Lindsay and I have met, so we have paid attention to those comments. Thank you for asking. So we thought we'd do a mini Q&A right now about how 14 years ago this girl married me.
It's kind of crazy how long ago that was.
So I had just come home from a 2-year LDS mission in Milan, Italy. So that is something about me. I do speak Italian fluently, by the way. But I was in Italy for 2 years and went down to Brigham Young University for college. Sean at the time, my brother, was down there and he had a big group of friends, and so I, needed to make friends, so I started to hang out with him a little bit, and he took me over to...
Well, you had friends, but all your friends were still on their missions.
That's true. So Sean took me over to a nearby apartment where him and his roommates had hung out with this group of girls. And I walk in and I see this beautiful brunette in a pink t-shirt and these really nice black pants.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, wow, she is a really beautiful girl. Who is that? So that's...
Rewind.
Well, that's when I first laid eyes on Lindsay, was that moment right there.
Rewind. So I was down at Brigham Young University as well, and like you said, I was in a big group of friends that was friends with Sean, and we had a class in Salt Lake on Tuesday nights before he came home from his mission. So one of those nights, Sean said he wanted to go home to his parents' house to just say hello to everybody, and he asked if I wanted to come with him because that was way more fun than being in class. So I remember going over and meeting the Bingham family, which, as you can imagine, was very funny. I mean, his mom is hilarious. That was the first time I met his mom before I ever met him. And I remember seeing his picture on the fridge because he was their cute little missionary that was out serving in Italy. And I remember just being like, who is that? And I was pretty sure that I was going to set myself up on a date with him from that moment on. So I really did. I'm pretty sure I told my roommate that I called dibs on him and I hadn't even met him yet. So
I will say, when I got home from my mission though, my heart, you could say, was temporarily with another girl.
It's true. She was Italian.
She was an Italian, not from Italy, but last name was Italian.
So I had nothing on her.
Yeah. So I wasn't really, looking, if you want to say that. The opportunity hadn't really presented itself yet.
So Justin's entire family was down in Arizona for the Fiesta Bowl because the University of Utah was playing, which, by the way, we are not fans of the University of Utah.
Not you fans.
So I'm down there with his whole family and a bunch of different friends, and I was pretty much staring at him the entire night, wishing that he would notice me because I thought he was so good looking. And turns out he has 2 girls from high school, like one on each side, just hanging on him.
It's not true.
And then I come to find out he's waiting the entire night for a phone call from this Italian girl. I mean, you have to realize he serves his mission in Italy.
To specify, she was not Italian. She lived in San Diego.
But she was Italian.
But she had an Italian last name.
So
yes.
As you can imagine, he served his mission in Italy. So obviously, like, coming home and dating an Italian girl was like what his dreams were made of. So I didn't really have a huge chance on that one. So I kind of just decided to make fun of him, and I called him from my phone, which he obviously didn't have my phone number. And
she spoofed me multiple times.
Pretended to be the Italian girl.
But I can say though, at that moment though, I really was captivated by her personality. She was just quirky, she was funny. Quirky, yeah. Outgoing, and I was really gravitated towards that personality.
You didn't notice me at all that night.
No, I did. I definitely did. The phone call and the prank call was a very cute flirt. I definitely picked up on the flirt.
So we get back from Christmas break, and it must have been some weekend in January, and a bunch of friends had a dance party, I think, in somebody's apartment, and I look over and Justin's just standing in the corner.
Now guys, you know this about me. I don't like to dance. I hate dancing. In fact, my 3 fears: sharks, spiders, and then I said dancing was the other one. I'm not a big dancer.
It was just so funny because he's such a fun, outgoing personality, and he's just standing in the corner, just like super quiet.
But it was strategic because I knew if I just had my bobber out there floating, I'd catch a fish.
So I came over and talked to you.
You made fun of me.
I did.
Yeah, you made fun of me again for sitting in the corner.
Apparently that's how I flirt and make fun of people.
And then I think I said, hey, do you want to go outside? And I showed her my new car, which was a Volkswagen Passat.
Oh, hold on a second though. He also showed me his brand new phone, which he was so excited about because you don't have a phone when you're on a mission.
Well,
And
back then you
back
didn't have
then
a
you didn't
phone
have a
on a
phone.
mission.
So it was one of those like Nokia bricks.
Guys, it was my first cell phone.
But it was like old school then.
I was 21 years old, and I'm only 35. I was 21 years old. It was my very, very first cell phone, and I thought this was the coolest phone ever. So I took her out to see my new Volkswagen Passat, which I didn't have a nickname for it just yet. But I take her in the car, and she's just, again, just goofy, funny, smiley. She was just Lindsay. And again, I got to really know her personality that night, and again, was totally gravitated towards just her love for life. In fact, she asked me if I had a nickname for the car, and I told her it was Lindsay 2. No, Lindsay 1, and she was Lindsay 2. Yeah. So that was my kind of flirt back. So I dropped her off, ended up hanging out a couple more times after that. We went to the Hot Pots, which is a hot water spring up in Park City, Utah.
With a bunch of friends.
Bunch of friends, and she's out there floating in the hot pots, and I just was really drawn towards this beautiful brunette. And we went up there together, so we were kind of, you know, hanging out together.
Was the Italian girl out of the picture yet? I can't remember.
Yeah, she was out of the picture basically, I think, New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
She kind of was out of the picture at that point. Anyway, hot pots were a ton of fun. We were snuggling and cuddling in the hot pots. Driving home, I think you'd fallen asleep on my lap, maybe, or on my shoulder.
No.
No? Gosh, I don't remember it. Maybe I don't remember any of this stuff. She ended up marrying me, I do know that.
He doesn't remember details.
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed you remember as much as you have. So.
Anyway, so we get home, and I walk her to her door, and I try to kiss her, and she denies me.
Okay.
All of the signs were there, you guys. All of them. And she denies me. And she denies me with like a giggle, like a little laugh, like
I said, what are you doing?
a cat and mouse laugh. I was like, what the? Anyway, so I got denied the first time I tried to kiss Lindsay.
Okay, here's my reasoning behind that. If I may say, Justin kissed a few girls in high school, and I knew that.
Just a few.
And it usually takes me a longer time to kiss somebody. I only like to kiss somebody if I really like them. So I kind of just knew that, like, if he kissed me, it was just like a number, like just one more person. So I was just like, I don't know. I take a little bit longer. So I was kind of surprised because I was like, I really like this guy, but like we just barely started hanging out. So I kind of teased him about it. Next thing I know, so like a week or two later, he comes over, makes me lemon chicken, which by the way was delicious. Very impressed that he could cook. Obviously was making a huge effort, which was really, really cool. And then he tried to kiss me again, and it worked.
And she accepted. She accepted that that advance. At that point, you guys, I had really started to like this girl.
Brought over your mission photo albums that night as well.
I did. I brought over my mission photo albums to kind of let her know about the last 2 years of my life, which were really important to me. We started to date. I think we started to say we were exclusive, but there came a time where I was like, I don't know if I want to have like a steady girlfriend. I don't even know if I want to get married. And so I actually tried to break up with Lindsay.
It's true.
And this is probably the best part of the story because I said I wanted to kind of date other people. And I didn't have a really good reason as to why, other than the fact that I just, wasn't ready to rush into anything. So I just wanted to, see what other options may have been out there. And you know what she said, you guys? She said, that's totally fine, but you're not going to find anyone better than me.
That sounds like I was being super arrogant. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like I thought we were so good for each other. So I felt like, yeah, go ahead and try, but like you're not going to find anybody that's better for you.
It was really kind of cute. So
it worked apparently.
Anyway, I think maybe a week passed by of us maybe not being exclusive, yet we were probably texting every single day and talking.
And next thing you know,
we're out on the swing set in front of the apartment complex. And I think
there was no swing set.
There was no swing set? Oh my gosh, I swear there's a swing. There's always a swing in every love story.
No,
there's a swing.
there is no swing.
Oh. So guys, next thing I know, I am sitting next to Lindsay on the couch, and I'm feeling a little weird. She can tell she's picking up on the weird vibes. And I
think I thought you were going to break up with me again.
And finally I just burst out, I love you. So I dropped the I love you on her.
Like a week after he tried to break up with me.
Yep. And I did. I loved her.
Bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Did you return the I love you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I think so.
I think I got to return I love you. Anyway, so we started dating. At this point, the semester was coming to an end, and the summer was approaching, and she was going to go back to Arizona to live with her parents and be a server out in Arizona.
And a lifeguard.
And a lifeguard, by the way.
And teach swimming lessons.
And teach swimming lessons. And so I was presented with an opportunity to go sell pest control door to door in Arizona. Now guys, summers in Arizona, anyone knows you probably shouldn't be outside. The job of a door to door salesman is to be outside going, well, door to door. So I probably didn't think through this very thoroughly, but
He also doesn't ever stop.
114 degrees plus knocking doors outside in Arizona. Well, why did I go? It's because I could be next to this one. So I ended up taking a job, moving to Arizona, knocking door to door, selling pest control, and my basically nights were filled with hanging out with Lindsay. And so that's where that's where we really fell in love, was the summer of what, 2005? Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer 2005.
We were so in love, like to an obnoxious level probably, because that's all my sisters remember is how annoying we were.
Yeah. So I remember when I first met her dad, it was kind of funny. And I was laying on the couch in her house, and there was a window behind the couch. And I remember seeing Tim kind of peek up to the window, kind of like Jack Nicholson does in The Shining. And just with this big grin, holds a hatchet up like this and just kind of smiles at me. I was like, oh man.
That was not the first time you met him.
That's not the first time, but he did do that. And I remember thinking, okay, I don't want to cross this guy. But Tim's a teddy bear. We love Tim.
Okay, so next thing was we started talking about getting married. We started looking at rings. And one day, Justin called me and he said that he had heat exhaustion.
I had heat stroke. Guys, I got heat stroke. It was terrible. Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Again, 114 degrees. There's nothing you wouldn't do for love, but 114 degrees, knocking in the heat, and I just didn't drink enough water, so I felt very ill. However, this was all around my big grand proposal, which she did not know about yet.
So I must have been at work. My mom took him to the doctor's office, and I was so worried about him, and I was like, what can I bring you? What can I do for you? I want to come take care of you. And he was like totally avoiding me, like just would not really, like he was just, I don't even know, you wouldn't let me come over.
I wouldn't let her come over, but it's because I was hiding people. I was hiding my family.
His entire family came down to Arizona.
My family had come into Arizona just for this proposal.
Because that's how you Bingham.
Yeah, because that's how you Bingham, baby. And so I didn't want her to know they were there because it would throw off my whole plan. So I refused to let her come over to the apartment to see me, and it kind of hurt her feelings.
Yeah, well, I just was worried. He's like, no, my roommates can take care of me, and I just was like, that's so weird. Why would you not let me come help you? And so I just remember, like, I wasn't like super worried, but there was a little part of me that was like, is he gonna break up with me? He's being so weird. What's going on? I was like a little stressed about it because I think it was like a couple days. So I go in to work at my serving job. They actually called me into work that night and said, we had a party come up. Do you think you could come serve?
This was all pre-planned, by the way. I had spoken to her boss at Tia Rosa's, the place where she worked. I had planned this all in advance, so, you know.
He actually had planned it for the night before, which I was already scheduled to work.
Yes.
And they canceled on me, telling that the special party had canceled.
Because I was sick.
Which I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
So then they call me and ask if I can pick up a shift. That must have been like the Saturday, because they had a special party coming in, and I thought, well, my boyfriend won't hang out with me anyway, so sure, yeah, I'll come work. So I go into work, and she tells me, you don't need to roll any silverware, which I should have picked up on that. That's what we would do first when we came in. She said, I need you to get to the pink room. The party's already here, they're waiting, just go clock in and go take their order. So I'm running over there, and I go to clock in, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my goodness, every single person from my family and from Justin's family is sitting there at the table with menus held up, hiding their faces.
And apparently the menus didn't hide very well, because I think she knew right away what was happening.
I was caught so off guard though, like I was not expecting that at all, and all of a sudden it was like, oh my goodness, this is why he's been avoiding me all this time. Yep.
So everyone had their face behind a menu. I put my menu down and I walked towards her, and I had a dozen roses. That did happen, right? The roses part. And I got down on one knee and
most beautiful ring.
And I asked her to marry me, and she said yes.
Best day of my life.
And what day was that? We got
that was June 18th.
June 18th. So guys, we ended up getting married then on September 10th. 2005 in the Salt Lake City Temple, which is the temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And we have been married for 14 years.
14 years. We've had a lot of adventures together since then, that's for sure.
So as newlyweds, we lived in Provo. We both went to BYU together, which was so fun.
Tons of fun.
We just would put our backpacks on and walk to school together or ride our bikes.
Yep.
And Justin ran track, at BYU, which was really fun. I loved going to his track meets. I worked at the law school during the school year, and during the summers we would adventure to do more summer sales. And then our adventures continued into somehow we're here now with 4 kids and a dog and 2 cats.
So guys, if you have any more questions about how we met, or can I say our love story, please ask. We tried to cover as much as our memory could allow us.
This guy is the best thing that ever happened to me. He is seriously my dream guy.
Well, I feel the same way. Love you, babe.
Love you.